If you're a work from home dog parent and you have video call meetings or live streams coming up, you want to make sure that you're setting your dog up for success so that they do not interrupt or knock over your technology or cause distractions during these calls. And as a longtime professional live streamer, I have a ton of valuable tips for you. So we are going to make sure that we are giving your dog the best advantage that we can while you are doing your work, and give you the best advantage so that your company that you're working with does not think poorly of you. So one of the first things that I recommend to anybody who has pets that is going to be doing video calls or video meetings or live streams is to practice. You are going to manage your dog's expectations. You want them to be very familiar with how it feels to have these live streams or these video calls or whatever it is. Because the second you set up a ring light, the second you set up your camera to film, is the second your dog is going to think, this is new, this is interesting, it's novel, and I need to be involved. They're going to need your attention. They're probably going to come crashing over and knocking all of your technology. They're going to pop up and give you kisses, and we don't necessarily want that if we have to look professional. So giving them the experience before the actual experience is going to teach them how to manage those expectations and know how to behave. So if you're doing live streaming, you're going to set up your camera or your phone or your computer, wherever you're live streaming from, set up your lights, get everything ready to go, and you're just going to talk to your camera source. You don't even have to record it. This is just practice to see how they're going to behave. And you want them in the room with you. You want them to be aware of how these things are going to work. Or if they're not going to be in the room with you, put them in the room and just practice so that they are not scratching at a door or crying in their crate or whatever it happens to be. You want to make sure that they understand the experience. So practice, pretend to do it so that they know how it really feels. And then you can model behavior for them. If they're in the room with you, you can show them, oh, you cannot jump on me, you have to be down. If you lay down, you're going to be rewarded. You want to make sure you're practicing and modeling that behavior so they know what to do and how to do it. If you are going to be doing calls with somebody, so somebody else is going to be on camera with you, now you need to start doing some FaceTimes with your mom, your sister, your best friend. You need to have somebody there to speak to you. You're just going to set up everything like you normally would, and you're just going to do those video calls just to chat with people, but they're going to understand how it works when mommy's talking to somebody on a screen. If you do not want to inconvenience anybody, or you don't have anyone to do this with, go to YouTube. Pull up a video. Any video will work that has a dialogue going on in that video. So use the ones here on this channel. You can use my social media marketing education or my author channel as well. I do videos where I'm talking direct to camera, so you can hear a lot of my voice. I also do a lot of videos with guests on it, so you can get other voices. Because if you just do it with my voice, your pet will get used to my voice. They'll know when Auntie KM is in the room, but they're not going to recognize a man's voice or a higher voice or a lower voice. They're not going to recognize different accents. And that could be, again, a bit of a novel experience. So if they're getting different types of volume and ways of talking, they're going to be more comfortable with it rather than have one specific voice and all of a sudden something is different. And all you're going to do is play the video. And then you can either mute the video or pause the video. And during those muted or paused times, you're speaking. It doesn't matter what you say. You can say anything you like. You're just pretending to talk to somebody. And when you finish the sentence, you're going to either play or unmute, and then the person on YouTube, me, is going to speak back to you. You're creating a fake conversation with different voices so that your pets are going to understand how that is going to function, how that's going to work for them. And again, we're modeling behavior, we're showing them what to do, we're giving them lots of rewards, we're setting up expectations and managing how they then respond to what they are going to be seeing when you are doing your work. You also want to make sure that you're wearing your dog out before your call. And that means you are going to have to do some pretty heavy duty playtime. You want them to be tired. So if they are going to be taking naps all day long and then you're going to jump on your video call, all of a sudden they're going to have a lot of energy. So get that energy out. And that can be all sorts of different things. We actually have a lot of great videos in our enrichment playlist on how you can tire your dog out for while you are working. And that can range anything from going outside and playing in the yard, to taking a nice long walk, to running, get the energy out, to playing inside, throwing the toys around, doing whatever. Something that I really like to do if I cannot go outside. So typically my dogs and I will go outside, we'll play in the yard, we'll run around, chase toys, chase each other, all the good things. But if we have poor weather, if it's raining or snowing and we can't go outside, I will set up a ball pit for my girls, and I will just put up the little kitty ball pit. I'll put all the balls inside, and then I'll drop a bunch of food or treats in there, and I'll let them go snuffling for it. They're going to have to sniff it out through all the balls. So they're hunting through the kids' ball pit balls to find their snacks. And by using pieces of their dog food or like low calorie snacks, or even like different pieces of food if you want, they are not going to, have a ton of normal biscuits or treats, things that are going to make them gain a little bit of weight. So if you actually use their dog food, whatever you're feeding them, you sprinkle it in there, just give them a little bit less at dinner time. And now it's the same amount. They just had to work for it, and that tires them out. So you are looking for activities that are going to physically and mentally tire your dog out so that they are going to be more restful while you are on camera. And that is going to make a world of difference. So that you have something to either occupy your dog while you're doing these video chats or bore them while you are doing these video conversations. So if you want to occupy your dog, you're going to give them something to chew on, something to play with, something that is not going to be noisy, so no crinkle toys, something that is going to occupy them. The opposite of that is to bore them, take away everything so that they have nothing to do and they go to sleep. So you know your dog, you know your dog's personality, you know what's going to work best. Test these out during your test streams so that you know if they need something to occupy themselves or if they need to be bored and go to sleep. That way you have a quieter house while you're filming. Of course, you also want to make sure that you do have treats on hand. Maybe you don't necessarily want to let your dog know that you have a box of biscuits sitting next to you because they will be in your space if they're a certain type of personality, but have a handful of dog food that you can give them little pieces of dog food, or have some treats where you can access them. Because if all else fails and your dog does come and get in your space, you're going to want to make sure you can get them down or out of the way. So you don't want them coming up to harass you while you are speaking to your boss or to your client or whatever it happens to be. So have something that you can easily grab and hand to them off camera. And if you have to keep feeding them to get through it, you do what you have to do. Think wisely about the treats that you're going to be giving them, because anything that's crunchy could potentially be picked up on camera, and that could possibly be a problem for you. So make sure you're going with softer treats, or something that's not going to be as loud, or something that is bigger that they can take and walk away with. But be mindful of what you're going to be giving them, because that really can make the difference. And so you might want to start thinking about snacks that you can make on your own that are not going to be loud, or things that are not super crunchy so that it's more functional for you. If you're worried about your dog being loud or potentially in your face while you are doing these streams and your dog is crate trained, you also have the opportunity to use this as crate time. So again, you want to make sure you've got a crate nearby. You can either do it near you where you can see them, they can see you, or you're going to do it in a different room where they can't see you, depending on your dog's personality. And you want to make sure you're testing this with them so that wherever they are in a crate, if they're able to hear you or able to see you, they know what to expect, and you can talk them through the process in advance. But if you need to, crate time while you are doing your videos is a really good choice, because it settles them down and makes them take a nap and keeps them in a confined space where they can't come knocking into your technology or jumping up on you as well. And while this might not be possible for everybody, one of the most important things you can do is try to schedule these calls during your dog's quiet time. If you are a work from home dog parent, you've been doing this a while. You know your routine and you know your dog's routines. You understand when they have more energy and less energy, when their nap time is, when they're going to ask to go out. You understand their dedicated schedule. And so if you can schedule around that, that's going to work better for you. I know that with my dogs, they get really hyped up after like 1:32 p.m. And so I try to schedule my things for earlier in the day. If I schedule them for after 1:30 or 2 p.m., chances are I'm going to have some boisterous puppies running around the house at the end of whatever video call or recording I happen to be doing. One of the guests that I have on my shows, we typically film in the mornings, but every once in a while they're busy and we have to push to the afternoon. And at that point, by the end of that recording, my dear friend and lawyer gets an earful from my puppies. They are very loud at the end of those recordings, and so we can only go so far. And so you know your dog's schedules. You're going to try to work around that as best as possible. If you have any say in the scheduling of things, do it on your dog's schedule. It just makes it so much easier for you. Now, there's lots of things that you can do as a stay-at-home, work-from-home dog parent to make sure that you are making the most of your time with your business and with your dog. So drop your questions down below. We're going to have more videos coming up on this as well. We want to make sure that we are making this the most successful and least stressful way that you can thrive as a dog parent who is also a work-from-home human, because it's the best of both worlds, as long as we make it that way. So drop your questions down below and follow along for daily videos as we help you to continue to navigate the world of being a dog parent, from documenting your dog's life to traveling with your dogs to working from home, to make this as successful as possible. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.